It's now 5 and 2, 5 hours. Oh, it's 8 hours and 2 minutes. We have waiting for 2 minutes for Rafael. When he comes, I will let him in. I will follow some scripts here, Joseph, just to make our meetings being preserved as a record. I record the file. So today is November the 3rd. My name is Marcus, and we are going to start our first meeting for Spider Project Planning. To preserve our connection, or to preserve our speed, I'd like you to, if you prefer, switch your video off. Okay? It's not necessary to be showing yourself all the time. We have registered your presence, and for the first step, I'd like to record your announcement. Let's just check in and show our presence, saying your name, to be easy later to identify each one of us. Joseph may start. You may begin.
Okay. My name is Joseph Afavio Kwabena. I'm a civil engineer working with
Okay.
KGMI.
And Mamani?
Yeah, my name is Mamani Mohammed. I'm a planning engineer working with the plan department at PUN.
Okay. Our first meeting, I made some slides to help me to understand what I have to say, to remember to show you. Our first meeting starts on 0 hour, like midnight. And I have to present you the first approach to Spider projects. And there are two main windows when you start Spider projects. Joseph and Mamani has already installed Spider, is that right?
Affirmative.
Yes, we've done that.
Mamani also installed Spider in your machine, in your computer?
Yes, I've done that.
Yeah. Okay. Your sound is too low. I can't increase the volume here. Anyway, when you first install Spider, there is a recommendation. There is a readme first, or you have to accept some conditions. Did you notice it?
Sorry, I didn't get the question.
Sorry?
I didn't get your question.
Yeah, I mean, when you first installed Spider, some README text, some preview of rules to accept the use of Spider Academic Spider version. Have you read it? It's a long test
No.
saying.
No, I never read it. I just accepted it.
Yes. Okay. It's natural. Just to tell you, when you have Microsoft or Primavera, README or accepts it all, there are lots of pages to be read. There are lots of conditions and terms to be understood. In Spider, there are some just information. The computer you need, the memory you need, there is not so many rules. forbidding you to do something or avoiding doing something or keeping you out of reinstalling your projects or your Primavera in other machines. Spider works on multiple machines, and you are not you're not prohibited. You are not forbidden to reinstall in 2 or 3 computers. Okay. And you are also not forbidden to use it to test it or to use the academic version to teach or to, how do you say, to share with your colleagues. You may share it with everybody once. When you start first, Spider, you see, I will show it on the screen. You see this first screen. We call it the main screen. It's not a very different name, but it's the main screen. And the second one, because it opens automatically, is the projects and documents screen. So these screens are the base of our work. Mamani has opened something or has just installed and did not open it.
No, I just installed it. I've not opened any document. I don't know.
Has you never opened it before?
Well, on the day I installed it, that was my first time opening
Okay.
Spider.
Your work today is to open and navigate towards screens, just to click and to find something to test. I mean, you open it and they're going to make some tests, some clicks after we talked about it today.
Yes,
proceed.
I've opened the Spider project and I can see 1 kilometer road. So I've opened that.
Joseph is more familiar with it. Is that right?
Yes, I opened the Spider. I went through some of the I clicked on most of the icons. I just ran some of the demo projects that have been logged in here.
Mm-hmm. Okay. This first screen on the left is the main screen, as I told you. By this screen, you navigate, you go to projects, portfolios, and documents. I'll talk about it a bit later in this section, but there are scripts. There is a script, there is a methods working with projects in Spider that we really do not see in MS projects. Primavera is much more close to the idea of environments, project environments, than Spider, than MS projects. But it's similar to Spider because you have this second screen here. You must classify your projects. As you see here, there are some projects here in the middle of the screen. You must classify it. You must have a directory or you must have a structure saying that these are my new projects, these are my current projects, these are my documents that I use with my projects. So the main screen show us that there is some rules and there is a method. And the second screen show us that our projects, our documents cannot be spread out inside a computer or a network. They must be kept together. They must be classified. They must be ordered, or they even must be identified. There is a code for each project, and there is a name. The name is what he used to. The name is what he used in our day by day. Say project 1, project 2, but there should be a code to classify and to keep them together. So that's very interesting, and I also say that's very important. You cannot have, like MS projects, a lot of files widespread inside a computer or in a network. So normally you see that these two screens are very important, and there is a method when Spider opened the idea for you. If you open
Okay.
a project, I mean, if the first screen when you open Spider is completed empty projects, but for no, there are no projects here. It's completed empty, and the second screen allows you to choose a project or a document or anything in order to open it. And when you open a project, for example, our theme here is our projects. When you open a project, the project is under its main item, projects. If you open a portfolio, it will be displayed under portfolio. But when you open a project, means that you are opening a data set. You are opening a data, a big amount of information. But this information, like a binary file, I mean, there are lots of data about dates, names, steps, costs, a lot of data inside the file. But it is classified as a project. But the way you see this information is something very particular. You may ask for dates and times to be the production time. So diagrams show you this data like Gantt charts, or in a view of, or in a modes of Gantt of materials used in these projects, or the data that you get shows you the number of labor resource you are using. So the data may be shown in very different ways. And when you open a project, I will do it here. When you open a project by the second screen, project and documentation or document screen, when you open a project, you also have the version of the project. I told you that this project must be classified under a structure. This is the Ghana 2025 directory, place, classification, but there are also my LSM, my other one, and my demo projects under my main structure projects. So the three you see on the left side makes you understand that the projects documents must be ordered, classified, but not only the name of a file. Let's allow Rafael. Hello, Rafael. Hi, Rafael.
Morning.
Morning. Just say your name in order to make easy for system to classify you.
All right. Hi, I'm Rafael. Sorry, guys. My alarm clock doesn't work off the first day.
Okay. Continuing. You're not only just see the name of your projects, but you also see the ID, the codes, the identifier of your documents, the projects. But on the right, you see the number of the version number of the documents. Because as you know, Joseph, your first version is just a test. The second version may be a final discussion about how are you going to do it. And the third version here, I'm saying to you that is the final version. You can see here notes. On the third version, you could see here, or you may see here, what is about. What is this file about? On the second version, I will show it here. Here. LSM is the identified codes. The name is Projeto Área Lazer Gourmet. There are versions 50, 61, 62, doesn't want, and the date of this version. If you click the notes or the notification, the information that you have from this file shows you if it's a pre-version, final version, work version, an alternative version. When you open these files, as I was speaking before, Ghana, third version, the information is completed in this file, but the way you see it, as I told, may differ from the point of view, the perspective you want. You may look to the activities in a form of diagrams. You may see your activities as a list. You may see the resources you have or the resource in your activities, used by your activities. You may see the materials you have stored, but also the quantity and the number of the different materials you have in your activities, in which mode? In a diagram mode or in a table mode? The calendars you use in your schedule, and there are lots of different information you may get from your simple file. similar to MS Projects or Primavera. The file keeps all the information you need, or all the information you input. Sometimes you don't have resource, so you won't have any resource guns or any resource table or you won't have any list of resources using your activities. You will get only what you have input in your file. That seems clear to you. Is it right, Mamani? Is it clear for you?
Yes, it's clear.
Joseph,
Yes, I'm clear.
Rafael, do you used to include resources in your activities, in your schedule?
They're here because justify that the project is very difficult to work with, and the maturity of the company doesn't see the how to use is
Okay.
difficult.
They don't see value in keeping materials or resource being kept and being seen on your projects. Is that right?
Yeah, sure,
Okay.
sure.
When
And
it- when
my
it's-
complete, my company doesn't see do the how to say the construction. We contract a company
Mhm.
and by turnkey, so the control is gonna be for the company that was contract.
Joseph, when you plan, when Tiago shows you what he's planning and intending to do, your company is worried about how many resources you're going to use, or just plan and let it to be seen in the future or by your EPC or your distributed workers, companies.
No, the company is very much worried about the resource we use, especially the people, the materials, the time, because we are on a very tight time schedule. So they are very much worried about the resources.
That means, Rafael, that seems that Joseph's company works and products the work and the results, and your company just keep an eye on them as a turnkey. Okay, this screen is to show you that there are lots of modes and ways and views to understand what you have in your projects, in your file. But although we have so many ways of seeing things, we are just use these modes on our sections. Planning, basic planning. I think we will cover diagrams, resource, just resource. There are lots of ways of applying resource or assignment resource, costs. There are a lot of information about resource, but we are just keeping an eye on cost components, cost center, materials, calendars. We are not going to see performance or group work. As I told you, login and passwords. We're going to see just the basic of it, but there are lots of things to talk about group work. Filters, formulas, we are going to talk about it a lot next week or the end of this week. Risk analysis is out of our program, and others, a lot of other things. We're going just to see how to produce layouts, how to use new fields, user fields, and type of fields information. As I told you, the main screen, the most important of the main screen is the menu, the toolbar, and the modes. You can see the information you have in your projects. The menu leads you to a lot of settings and resource features. The two main menus items are File and Settings. Today we will discuss about these two information settings. It's not vital. It's not so important. It's not, how would I say? It's not, it won't determine or it won't fix what is going to happen, but what is going to be presented to you. Because when you use Primavera, you must fix some information. But in Primavera, if you do not fix this information, the results will come complete, the results will come right in value, they will come proper, useful results. When you do not fix in projects, MS projects, probably you have wrong information, wrong calculation, wrong results. Similar to Primavera, Spider does not oblige you to fix anything to be a complete tool. It won't oblige you to fix anything that makes the Spider calculate information in the proper and right way. So Spider does not commit mistakes. Primavera does not commit mistakes. When you present your schedule, the schedule is 200 days last. Spider say 200 days to complete. But when you use some Microsoft projects, you must be pay attention to be very precise when complete this set information. Saying that, and to help you, I send you 2-page documents to show you that you are not alone. You have a slave agents, AI agents, artificial intelligent agents that can help you when you ask anything to it. I say to it, not to him. To it because it's not a person, because it's an agent, AI agent. If you scan this QR code, you may ask, what is create new projects? How does workplace information works? What is page format? These AI agents will reach some books, not a web research, some books, some papers written according to what Spider really does, and they'll give you the answer, whatever your language is. You may ask it in French, Spanish, in English, and the answer will be as clear as your language is for you. It was written in Portuguese, but of course, as it's an AI agent, it will help you in your own methods. And remember, it's not a help. I mean, when you have, when you have software, you may use help in menu, Project Spider projects help, and you may search for information in order you could read and understand the software. This AI agent something different. If you have never used it or such kind of thing, you may ask and talk about anything in this menu items. The idea is that you answer you better than I could answer you. You may ask me anything you desire, you need, anytime, because you have our contacts, the Telegram contacts. But if you want to ask how does usually how remote connections must be set, how do I change fonts or colors, the agents will help you. This slide just remember me to talk about it. Joseph, have you ever used agents like LLM or any kind of AI to talk with?
Yeah, I've been using the ChatGPT a lot to
Mm-hmm.
do most of my research. Today I scanned this code and then I saw that it was mainly coded for Spider. I asked him to translate for me in English and then it did some translations in English. But I've not asked him specific questions regarding Spider yet.
It's
But I
okay.
think during our studies, I'll be doing.
If you ask any LLM or any ChatGPT or Gemini about Spider, probably it will answer you because it will search the internet, find something to tell you. But this kind of agents I created is restricted to the books, not to the web. So you won't be able to ask the web, just the books inside it. The books are in Portuguese, but and the manual is in Russian. But when you ask it on your own language, the answer will come in your language, unless you ask it not to answer you in your native language. Mamani has ever used it? Not these specific agents, but any questioning or trying to learn something by AI?
Yes, I've done that with Google, the original Google, and as well as Siri and Gemini. Yeah, I've tried a couple of AI agents.
And do you think it's helps really you?
Well, yeah, ChatGPT was quite helpful based on what I was searching for, but sometimes the information it gives it's more like based on what others are searching online.
Rafael, do you often use AI to solve your doubts and questions?
Sure, but most of the time doesn't use to see a chronogram, only for to check if our contract is have a good structure and a risk and like things and things like that.
Joseph, please take care. Be careful when people say that you can plan with AI. You may ask things about your schedule. You may ask things about your ideas and plannings or rewriting things, but planning, it's a nonsense. If you hear somebody say, I've planned everything with AI, take an eye and be careful with this kind of people, okay?
Okay.
This slide shows you how a project appears, how the data in your file appears to you in a specific mode. Which mode is this? Is the Gantt activity. Gantt because the Gantt diagram here. Activities because we're talking about activities, production, not about resource. So the slide shows that the layout, the way you see it, layout is the way you see the information, the way you see. Yes, there is a table here with lots of specific information on the left. There is a Gantt diagram on the right. There are some graphics at the bottom. So the layout means you can see tables, diagrams, graphics together. Of course, the main conductor is the table, because the data you have in the table, you can draw a Gantt diagram. Because the data you have in your table, you can draw some histograms, line curves, S curves. So these diagrams are slaves from the table. If you change to Spider as an application, and you have here, it's alive. You see here the table name of the activity. Remember, this is activity Gantt. Remember? Activity Gantt, not resource Gantt, not material. So in just one mode or view, you have a lot of information. There are much more information inside here. But when you ask just to see the Gantt, you see parts of the amount of information you have here. In this screen, just for the illustration, the table shows you activities in white color line, the projects, or the main part of the project, or some parts of the projects, or the production, and inside each activity here, we have a resource A. The resource A is allocated assignments for every activity. Remember, the name activity is the name we understand, we see, but there are another information hidden. We are going to talk about it later, but I'll show you that you have code. Code is a code, it's a number, it's an identification, individual exclusive identification. You see it in Primavera, but you don't see it in Spider. In MS Project, the conception, MS Project is completely free and not following any rule or method, just a tool that draw bars for you. Okay, I will hide this column. So the fields defines a table. The table allows the diagrams to be drawn. And the table information also allows you to have graphics here. Stacked columns, curved lines. See here. There are different ways to dispose the information. Remember, just activity Gantt modes. Imagine what you can see here in different ways of display information. Maman is new for you, okay? Am I right? It's completely new for you?
Yeah, it's new for me.
And if Joseph is more familiar with it and other views.
Yeah, I'm a little familiar with this.
Tiago, and you discuss just diagrams or other diagrams like resource diagrams and this kind of thing?
Just the Gantt diagram. But myself, over the weekend, I was walking through I was navigating through the app, and then I went through all those things.
But keep in mind that this is activity diagram, but if you choose resource diagrams, you will see the resource A working in a lot of activities, and under resource A, you will see where resource A works and how his schedule is disposed. He is working here at the same time, and in the future, he will work on activity 2 and activity B here. It is red because there are just one resource A to work on several different activities at the same time. In layout, you have menu, toolbars, but remember, not only the information, but the way the information is displayed. Starts. Oh my God. I clicked on the wrong screen. Not only the information, but also the way this information is displayed. If you look to the diagram, you see there are some activities that work starts now and starts later. You may order the way the information is presented. You may filter, we'll see in the future. You may filter which information or which class of information, which type of information we will see or want to see. So the layout has menu, toolbars, table, Gantt graphic, but each of these items can be adjusted, can be set to present more detailed information. As I told you, we have projects and we have documents. I'll show you in this main screen. When you have a project, it's under projects. When you have a document, it's under documents. What's the difference between documents and projects? Documents are data, information data. They are also information data, but they are specific information data. I will use the project documents window to look for documents. Projects light blue rectangle, and the document seems to be a red book. There are versions. What is a document? A document is the main cost list, is the main material cost list. The document contains the costs of each material I am using. If the document contains the costs, I may understand, I may see the costs of project materials. Not only when I will use or I will consume these materials, but also how much it will cost or how is it costing to me now. But this is the first version of the activity cost material. If the price change, I may have double click. If the price changes, I may refill or I may adjust, I may reset the values here. It's not cost information, but imagine if it is $17 for each material, and now I have I'm just giving an example. $20, I may save it as version 2. So when I open my projects, I may inform my projects, do not consider version 1. You must consider version 2. Okay? If I open, you see it on next meetings. Document properties. This document preserves the material cost adjusted to new sales conditions. Okay. When you open your project and documentation window, you see version 1, costs at the beginning of our projects of estimations. And now we should see here, okay, let's save it, save. This document preserves costs and conditions, because the first version was just the preliminary version of our estimations. Mamani and Joseph and Rafael, do you see that we are not just informing how much the material costs, but why there is a different version, and we have to use in our projects not the first documentation, not the first information, but now have to ask the project to be updated to new cost materials prices or conditions. Did you understand that, Mamani, Joseph, and Rafael?
Yes, I did.
Yes, I got it.
Yes, sir.
Okay. The way this main screen and this project screen works help us to document our information, help us to structure our information, help us to keep all the information well organized. I will see, or you may show to your colleagues, there are a lot of revisions. The last revision, the last update, your project has versions, previews, final, test versions, production, because you also may move your preliminary projects that are under submission and projects that are really being conducted, that working, they are on running in real time. So these two screens are really important and help us to understand how to keep everything on a good way, on a organized way. Primavera has this idea. Asta Power Projects from England, United Kingdom, has this idea, but Microsoft project was not concept by with this intention. Of course, documents have many toolbars table, but they are not created to show you any graphic or any kind of information. They are developed just to keep information. It seems like to be an Excel file. It seems to be cells. It seems to be done as an Excel file. You have cells. You may include formulas. You may filter. You may order. Let's order this by alphabetical order, by start dates, by quantity, or by the duration days they have, from the minimum to for the lowest to the highest. But there is no graph here. The proposal is just to keep information like, how to say, like, how to say, they're keeping information, historical information, actual values, list of, imagine if you have a document with all your resources for every work, for every project, in a single document. You would see here all the equipments you have in your company working for your projects. When you open a project, you may choose the equipments you will use in your projects. You may choose which material or type of material or worker you are going to use in your projects. And if you have a standard, every project will share the resource, the equipments, or you analyze to you that the same material will be consumed in 4 or 5 projects at the same time. But you have a complete list of your information. So it's also data information. You have corporative information documents. And you have your own information, your projects. Your projects needs resource, even money. Your projects use corporative resource, materials, and money. So when you open your project, you see what you use, what you're going to schedule, and when you are going to need this resource. But imagine a corporation. If the company opens all the projects together, the company or the managers will see how much equipments, money, materials they will need during the time, at the same time, or in the future. It will help them to change supply, contracting people. Don't you think about it? Don't you think that's a cooperative good idea, Joseph?
Yes, it's a good idea.
Do you use to totalize, summarize to analyze resource by Excel by Excel in the company, or you just work with your own projects regardless what is happening outside?
Excel is one of the softwares that I use most because that's what I'm familiar with. So most of the times I normally use Excel to do most of my works. So I've been using Excel to do the analysis as well.
And Mamani has any previous experience comparing different projects using the same equipment to understand if you are going to be able to use these equipments in the future or not?
Well, yes, we did that when we were moving from one project to another project. It was something we did when we're changing projects here. I've done that before.
You say you have done this just when you left one project and got into another one, and you look to chair, or you looked for moving the equipment from one to another?
Moving the equipment from one project to another, that's actually a different department's purview. But what we did was just checking what the equipment will require on the new project as compared to what we already have on the completed project.
But do you understand the difference between moving, analyzing equipments for taking equipments from one project to another, and the difference between this and seeing all the projects together, all the contracts together, to see if you are able to share, to move in the future the equipment or resource or specialist from one project to another?
Well, that's something we didn't actually look up. I didn't look at because that was what the project the planning manager did, but I didn't have the opportunity of learning that.
Rafael, it's a different level. When you see your projects and your problems and your projects for your another projects, it's different from the manager on the top level that has to see all the contracts together, all the equipments together, and to think, may I move it or must I buy another one?
Sure, it's a different level. So you try to solve the problem of the company, not of the product.
Mm-hmm.
But my company, only my dreams, I'm gonna use that.
Joseph is working on the level of projects or the level of portfolios?
I'm working on the level of projects.
And Mamani also working this level?
Yeah, I'm also working on the level of projects.
You want to be a CEO? One day you want to be a CEO, you will be a CEO. When this day come, Mamani, remember the documents you have here on the screen are documents that works for projects. You may have your documents to help your projects, but you also have documents to help the entire organization. And when Mamani or Joseph decides to look for resource for their projects, they use the same documents for the whole complete resource documents in order to look for truck or a car or how to say grua in English.
Higher
Yes.
crane.
Thank you, because you work with Portuguese people. Yes, And you are looking for in the organization documents, in the company's documents. But somebody has to keep these documents upgraded. That's right. Do you understand that? If you work with your documents, you keep these documents and the version of your documents alive, complete, and updated. But if you use companies' documents, organizations' complete documents, you are not responsible for it. Isn't you, Mamani?
Well, if you are using a document that is probably in like an organization SharePoint, whoever updates it, the last updated person is shown. Especially when you're using SharePoint, whoever was the last to update the document is shown in SharePoint.
We are working with projects. In this basic course, we are going to work with our projects. So if you see a document, these documents are just for our projects. So do not mind keeping the documents updated to be useful for all the company. It must be useful for your project, for you. We finished the idea for this first meeting, the ideas for this first meeting, but I have to talk about this here. And your work, homework, is to navigate through these menus just to see what happens. I will show you here some of these documents, these menus, but I think we are going to see this detailed next class on Wednesday. Although we have a lot of options in the menu, we won't see some of them. Just to give you a spoiler, a preview, let me show you. File and settings. Can you see it's too small for you? Files. Create new projects. Can you see it?
Yeah. Yes.
File.
Yeah.
You can create a new project. You may try, you may test. It's not our homework, but you may try just to see what happens. You may import. You may import from MS Projects, from Primavera. Why there is importing files? Because if you work with projects, you have not to import anything from other companies, from other developers. But as Primavera, as projects, as Astra, Spider can import some datas, standardized datas from projects and Primavera. And by CVS files, you can import from any kind of software that exports into this kind of data format. Create a new document. Do you remember create a new project, create a new documents. Documents, feeds, projects. Project, feeds, portfolio. Create projects, create documents, create portfolios, open. You may try it until tomorrow, until Wednesday. Open, just open project documentation windows. Remember, you may pay attention. You may open a file from your computer. This is the way Microsoft Project works. Opening files somewhere. Which file is it? I don't know. Which directory is it? I don't know. But when you open from storage, you know that this project and this document belongs to Ghana. And Ghana is inside my project. And my project is inside. No, Ghana is not inside my projects. It's something particular, specific. Next Wednesday, we are looking for options for new project. Remember, these settings do not they are not essential for your work. They help your work because you are going to fix some particular interests that you have when you plan or your schedule or when you are scheduling. If you do any adjust here, it won't damage your results. It won't make your calculus or your analysis wrong. They are here just to make things better for your screens, for your diagrams, for your considerations. Okay? But these are themes for next Wednesday, because we have finished our first meeting. What do you have to do? Click and test. Open and test. Close, change without any specific propose, just to move around the toolbar, the menus, and installing, opening, just to have an idea. Okay?
Very well.
All right.
Mamani, Joseph, how new are these things? Are to you?
Okay. Honestly, like I told you some time back that I've been introduced to SpiderNote quite recently. I've gone through all this, especially creating a new project. The task you are giving us, I've gone through all them, but I'm willing to go through it again with you. But it's not new.
Because to share, when Thiago share with you the files or discuss it with you about information in files, you have to be present to this kind of information.
Yeah.
And so it's not new for you.
No,
But
it's not new.
Not new. Mamani, how much it was new for you?
Well, it was new to me in the sense of you explaining the functionality, but as to how the window looks and everything, after we installed the software, I opened it just to see how the environment was and how the UI is. But that was just it. But going into details and explanations you are giving, actually, that's my first time hearing that.
And remember, you may also ask for the AI agents, whatever you want, in order to explore some ideas or just curiosity. Rafael, from this first meeting, what was really new for you?
Well, I already saw all of this in your book, but in the practice, was the first time, just the theory.
Okay, so there's a difference between theoretical knowledge and practical knowledge.
Sure.
Okay, so you have to click, 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 test, 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 open, close everything, and make things interesting, because on Wednesday, we are going to talk about each setting item, which each menu item, to see how danger it is for us. If you do not do it, what happens to our life? What happens to our schedule? Or there is no consequence to our schedule, just because if you want to see red, you have to adjust red color. If you want to see 2 decimal place in a number, you have to set 2 decimal places, decimal digits. So the calculus will be done correctly, but the way it will be presented, you will go to the site by setting the adjusts. Okay?
Okay.
Okay.
The Telegram chat is open. You may ask anything you desire or you need. And do not forget to use also the AI agents, because probably we will use AI during our meetings. Okay?
Okay.
Okay.
Duly noted.
All right.
Bye-bye, Mamani. Bye-bye,
Bye-bye. Thank you so
Joseph.
much.
Bye, Marcus.
Bye-bye, Rafael. The meeting recording will be available, I think, as soon as my computer, my PC, produce, okay?
Okay.
Obrigado.
Just open your cameras to keep our registration here. Where is it here?
Max, I'm getting the close to my job, so I cannot open my camera right now.
No problem. Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay. Bye-bye.